got your priorities all fucked up.
Oh.
That's just my opinion.
Because you said, okay, y'all would spend the holidays together.
Yeah.
And your birthday. Do y'all spend her birthday together too?
Well, we
0 people.
to her birthday.
Oh, you don't?
We didn't make it that far.
Speech off.
Oh, so y'all only just made it through the holidays recently.
Yeah. And then then it's, you know, the big thing to me was, it's like how you spend your time. Because that says everything. I don't care. You know, I tell everybody, I said, hey, you know what's important to you. I know what's important to anybody. All I have to do is ask them, how do you spend your time?
Right. And so,
you know, whether that's if you make time to get all dressed up to go out to the hookah bar or whatever.
right.
That's what's important to you.
Oh.
If you're spending all your time, you know, some people spend all their time in church.
Okay.
So it's like, that's what's important to you. It's really simple. So if you fly across the country to spend time with someone, that person is really important to you.
Wow.
And I'm just like, you know, of course I was always keeping my distance because she said she had a boyfriend. And then as we got close, you know, she's like, well, everyone's telling me I should marry him. I said, why would you marry him? She's like, well, you know, everyone's saying he's nice. I said, what the hell does that have to do with you? I'm like, how do you feel about him? I'm just like, here we are. You met me, and you said you never had a connection like this in your life. She was from Ethiopia.
Oh.
And I'm just like, and I was telling her, I said, you realize this doesn't happen often in life, period. So I was saying, hey, why are you spending all this time with me and you got a boyfriend? I said, it doesn't make sense. And I said, it's not fair to him.
Wow.
But then, you know, I started to realize, I was like, oh, you know, if she's not having sex with anybody, you know, she can keep everybody at bay, you know, but keep them, you know, and at one time she made and I'll leave it at this. She's like, boy, you know, I just wish there was a way, because you get different things from different people, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, but at some point, if you're in a relationship, you got to choose that person. You can't keep getting this other stuff from other guys, and you may be thinking everything's cool, but, you know, hey, I'm a man, and it's like, we tend to think, okay, maybe this is a possibility. And then you see all those men that are approaching you, you know, they're thinking about sex.
Oh.
So it's just, you know, it's deep. So I'm done talking about that.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. What was her sign?
Huh?
What was her sign?
What was her sign? Well, that's a tricky question. Here, hang on one second. I'm getting ready to get on the bus. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when was her birthday?
Well, see, that was an interesting thing, because I asked her, I said, well, when were you born? And I think she said January. But she claims July 13th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because sometimes when they get over here, some countries don't have the calendar that we have.
Yeah.
And they don't keep birth records like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they don't know the answer, but sometimes they change their birth dates for different benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't know. But okay. So
So that was my most recent experience.
that was your most recent girlfriend?
Well, no, I wouldn't consider her a girlfriend. I just consider her a friend.
Really? But she told you she has a deep connection with you. So y'all, but you said you learned a lot about intimacy from her. What does that mean?
No, I'm sorry. I can barely hear you again. I'm on a bus, so I'm sorry.
I said you learned a lot about intimacy from her. What does that mean?
Really having the connection without the physical aspect of it.
Oh, that's nice. Where are you going right now?
Home.
Oh, that's nice.
Why, you want me to come see you?
I'm about to go to bed. I gotta go to Pilates in the morning. What was I gonna tell you? Have you ever driven or no?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever driven or you're not a driver?
I've driven most of my life.
Oh, really? Okay. Because some people don't like to drive at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started at 16.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice. Well, where did you meet her?
Oh, you weren't listening.
I wasn't?
Where did I meet her?
Yeah.
Rewind.
Where did y'all meet?
In Publix.
Oh, you did say that too.
Mm-hmm.
You sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know. You found her. She told you from jump she had a boyfriend, right?
Yep.
So, but you found her. Did you find that intriguing?
Oh, yeah, very much so. Because we had a connection. Like I said, I could feel her behind me.
So y'all had a connection from the beginning. Well, maybe that's what it's about. Maybe you feel the void for her.
Well, that could be.
You know, maybe. Was she sad when you told her you wasn't going to talk to her anymore?
No, it just stopped.
Oh, okay.
This is what, I told her. She always used to say, "We'll talk tomorrow." She'd text me that, "We'll talk tomorrow." And then I would be the one to make the phone call.
Okay.
So then I told her, I said, "We'll talk tomorrow." But I didn't call her.
Oh, okay.
Then she waited 4 days to call me.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Is everything okay?" I said, "I'm outstanding." She's like, "Well, you said you were going to call," and I was just, that's not what I said. I was just doing exactly what she did.
Wow.
And then that's the last I heard from her.
So that was like 4 months ago?
A couple of months ago.
Wow. So y'all didn't hang out for Valentine's?
No.
Okay. Well,
I think that might have been when she was on vacation, when I think about it.
and she stayed on vacation for like a long time?
No, it's just a week.
Wow.
So, all right, now you tell me about your last situation.
Situation?
Or your boyfriend, or...
No, that's a good. No, you know what? That's a good description. Because honestly, the last two guys that I actually thought I was dating actually they were older guys and they were quite confusing.
Oh, wow.
And after those two jokers, I really got turned off. And I just really said, let me just mind my own business, because
Well, how old were they?
one was 67 and one was like 53, 4, 5, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I expected them to be more stable minded and, be excited about being, together. And instead, they were real all over the place.
Oh, okay. So
So
they still trying to be players, huh?
I think so. I think one of them is a gigolo, honestly.
Gotcha.
And I think that because he had a huge health scare, I think that he was trying to like get himself together just in case he died. Like, let me clean up my life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But really and truly, I think that he is one of these guys that prefers to be with men, but wants to look the heterosexual part so he can do business and interact with business family men. Mm-hmm. But he really likes men. And then I think he's used to just having a gigolo relationship with women where they give him money, and he's just been used to hustling so long. I meet a lot of people out here that's been hustling for years. Yeah. And before they know it, they're 50, 60, 70 years old, Wow. And it's like they never saw it coming.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's interesting.
It gets weird. It gets real weird. Because even with that being said, it's like they can never trust that you just want to be with them. It's like,
wait. What was that again?
It's like they can never trust that you just want to be with them, genuinely. They're always looking for, the sucker punch. Because of maybe all the stuff they've done, or they just really... I think a lot of people talk themselves out of happiness every single day because they're expecting it to be more complicated. And when they talk to someone that's just a straight shooter, they can't believe it because, like I said, the culture here is real jacked up.
Well, it's deep because, it's amazing to me, just like this young lady that I dated in the past. She was 10 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And, of course, her thing was, she mentioned, hey, the guy's house is paid off. Right. And I'm like, okay, you want some security. You're 70 years old,
Right.
So, and I said, I get that.
Right.
But, again, there's this trade-off. Are you happy?
Right.
With this individual?
Right.
Because all the stuff doesn't matter. I was about to say shit, but all the stuff doesn't matter.
Right.
Because that can go away at any moment.
Well,
it's like, do you, first of all, do you have a connection to this person? A spiritual bond?
People in their 70s that have stuff to lose, they don't think like that. They're thinking they cannot make a bad financial move, honestly. Yeah. I have dated quite a few 50 and 60-year-olds that are well off and have made good decisions, hardworking people, and they are scared to death to be misaligned and to be broke in 80.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. They really, really don't care about all that feeling stuff anymore. They just don't. And that's why I don't want to date them anymore, because it's real sickening because, like I said, they're so scared.
Yeah.
They're so terrified. So I'm like, keep your scary self at home, or like I said, that woman telling you that she told you the truth.
Yeah.
And if I feel like if you want to successfully date older people, like that woman said, be a homeowner.
Yeah.
You could, like, even me, if I was a
Hmm.
homeowner, I feel like these older guys I dated, they would feel a lot more secure because they
Hmm.
would feel like I had something to lose too.
Hmm.
And they could, because one of the guys I was seeing, he owns a lot of properties between here, Georgia, and Florida.
Wow.
And he was literally telling me about buying a house.
Hmm.
He wanted me to have a child for him because the woman he married ended up not being able to have children. And then after 20 years of marriage, she left him, right?
Mm.
So he was looking to marry a younger wife so he could finally have a child. But
Oh boy.
he wanted me to buy a house and get pregnant before he would marry me.
That's insane. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
He wanted to write a contract. That was his deal. I'm like, can you get lost? I'm like, you could drop dead while I'm pregnant with this child. Like, no. I'm like, who does that mess? And but he was very serious about it. And I was like,
That's crazy
I
though.
was like,
But
I
you know,
get
it's.
it.
I'm sorry.
Because his wife didn't tell him that she couldn't have children. And then, like I said, after 20 years of marriage, she left him.
He said, okay, bye bye.
So his whole thing was, this time, I'm going to make sure you can have a child. And I'm going to make sure that you have something to lose. Because he said in that divorce, she asked for properties and everything, knowing she couldn't maintain them. Because he paid all the bills. She worked, but she kept all her money. So he literally had to, I think he gave her 1 or 2 properties, and then she almost lost them. And then he got them back from her. So,
Yeah, there's something else there, because even for him to say something like that, well, I want you to get pregnant and have my child before we do all this, and that just sounds crazy to me. I'm sorry.
Maybe he's scared he can't have children. I don't know, but I wasn't about to do none of the above. I can't do it. I can't do not a thing, okay? Can't do it. So, oh well. Oh well. And then he started looking for women in other countries and trying to bring them over here.
Yeah, he just sounds like he's quite the confused individual.
He just been through a lot. This is how people act after they've been traumatized. Like, nobody expects to be single in their 50s.
Again, you still got to be. Hang on 1 second, man. I just got mine. Hang on. Hello, sorry about that.
That's okay.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she what was I telling you?
You were telling me about this rich gentleman with all the houses and his wife.
Oh yeah.
Lost.
So anyway, I don't know. I can't. That guy is a mystery because
Mhm.
he did so many different things that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm just like, no, thank you. But so that's in short.
Yeah.
That's in short the things that have gone on.
That's interesting.
And it's always been like in these last few years, everybody's been like in their 50s. Their
Well, there you
50s,
go.
and they all do the same scary. They're all scary. Now,
Scary.
they're scared to death or they're too much. Like I had one guy that was in his 60s, really I think he might have been early 70s,
Mm.
and
Wow.
he was just trying to marry me. He was like, let's just get married, I want to make sure that you're gonna be okay. He's like, you'll get my retirement, the house, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I don't like that like that.
Mm.
I'm like, I
Wow.
can't see myself just bowing to God to love you for better, for all that extra. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, we're never gonna have sex, so you want to do that? Like, it was crazy. So
Never
either
gonna
they
have
do they
sex.
either they go too far or they're scary.
So, why would never be sex? No sex.
Because there's not. I just see grandfather. Like I just see there's nothing else. There's nothing at all. I love
Oh
him. I
boy.
love him dearly. But
Mm.
not in no type of, oh yeah, I'm excited about what? I'm not excited. I'm excited about breakfast. Like let's make some. Let's make lunch.
Oh boy, you're hilarious.
Let's grill some stuff. Like let's go to Costco. I don't know. We're not doing anything else though. It's like I can go to the doctor with you. You can go to the doctor with me. We can run errands. We can go to the park. We can do all kind of nice natural things. But if you try to touch me, it's not gonna work out. So I'm like, and that's the thing I don't appreciate, because if I don't, now the guy that was 67, I had no idea he was 67. I thought he was in his late 40s. So it just depends on what your 60, 70 is like. You see what I'm saying? It's not the number. It's just this man had diabetes. He was every morning he had the whole kit and caboodle on the table. Gotta test his blood sugar. He got like 5,000 pills he gotta take. He got testosterone he gotta take. All that's telling me that we're gonna take it easy. I don't feel like it. I'm not thinking about it at all. So I just never could talk myself into signing up for, just because I'm gonna get a house and 6,000 a month. And like all that comes with that. You know what I just kept thinking? I'm like, better. You're gonna sit up here and vow to the Lord a lie, and then this man gonna mess around and live for 30 more years.
Oh boy.
And because
you know what's deep about that? The woman I told you that she had gotten married, after we broke up, and she was just a caretaker.
See, I don't got time for that.
And then, that's the thing. She's like, well, he's retired, he's got a house, and I'm just like, you about to get right back in the same thing.
Maybe that's all she cares about. I personally don't. Now, if I love you and everything and something happens and I need to take care of you, that's fine. But I just married you because I'm trying to just make a financial move. See, I can't do all that stuff. I just can't, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. He was mad at me. I'm
Mm.
like, I'm not gonna use you. I just can't do it. So I can't. I'm not gonna sit up there and tell the Lord I'm gonna love you through all that stuff. I don't have all those feelings. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
I feel you.
And had he been a godfather, had he been like a friend who said, look, I care for you. I want to make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want us to be married on paper so that legally you have rights, and I want to give this, or even if he did some type of living will or something, I want
Yeah.
it, whatever, and he could have just stayed regular, I would have been over there to this day.
Wow.
I would have been over there. We could, like I said, watch TV, laugh, talk, eat dinner, go for walks, all of that. But just don't try to touch me when you do all that. Now,
Mm-hmm. And then
now
what you gonna do about that when you get the urge? What were you gonna do?
I don't get no urge. That's the thing.
Oh well, there you go.
It's
Good for
that's
you.
if he got to be normal and I have to be normal. And if he can't be normal, then no. I'm like, why in the world would you be thinking? What do you think I want to do? I think people need to be more realistic. I'm like, stop
Well,
looking at the
what I was
internet.
saying is like you don't never get the those physical urges.
No.
I'm not. Oh wow, that's deep.
Yeah, I'm not in love.
Okay,
If I'm not in love with anybody, I don't even think about it.
that's beautiful.
Heck yeah. What?
That's beautiful.
It's just like, oh well, not in love. I have so much to do and think about in a day.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even cross my mind. That's why I get concerned about people. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
are you okay? Because you can't. I don't. You're letting. How is? So you just ready to sleep with anybody?
Yeah.
These
Well,
people. These people be ready to sleep with.
I say, just from my own experience, some people have, a drug problem or
Okay,
this
yeah.
problem or that
Yeah,
problem.
that's real.
And
That's real.
with me, it was women.
It was a women problem for you?
Yeah, or, more of a sexual thing, because I stopped drinking a long time ago in college. And I never smoked or snorted or any of that stuff.
That's good.
But it was, I had my own affliction. So
that's understandable. Everybody does have their challenges. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, you get stressed, just whatever it is. Some people it's drugs, some people it's eating.
Okay, I feel that. Mm-hmm.
So, then I had to get a hold of that because I realized if you don't get a hold of it, whatever it is for you,
right,
it's going to raise its head at the most inopportune time.
I know that's right.
You can become president of the United States and then it raises its head because you never got control of that.
I went to school with this guy. I actually had the biggest crush in life on this guy, not even knowing he had a crush on me too.
Oh wow!
And I didn't even find out for years and years later. But this guy, such a great person, but he allowed a failed marriage to ruin him to the point, like, I think he has 11 or 13 children now with,
oh wow,
with like 1, 2, 3. So what is that? 2, 4, 6, 5. So like with like
I get the picture.
8 moms. So it's just like, and I was when I read whatever you call it, when we came across each other again, at that time he only had 2 children with his ex-wife. And then I want to say he had, I think, okay, so yeah, the first time we came across each other, he had 2 children with his ex-wife. The next time I
Mm-hmm.
talked to him, he had 2 more children with 2 other women.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, now let's talk about this. And he was wanting to see me. Now, you talking about having a connection with someone.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, the chemistry that he and I had has been unmatched.
Well, there you go.
And we never went all the way there like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the problem was, once he told me he didn't never want to get married again,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no. Because I'm not going to be baby mama. I told you I can't do that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot do it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the connection that we had, I was like, this guy's gonna break my heart. Like, this is gonna hurt. This right here is going to really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never hurt before in my life. And I couldn't do it. So I just remember listening to him,
Mm-hmm.
and because it was like from a place of like openness and care, like I just wanted to hear his feeling. I just wanted to hear his train of thought, because both of us had failed marriages, and
Mm-hmm.
both of us had these feelings about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listening to him, it really opened me up to the male point of view on a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that I never was open to before. I'm like, usually I wouldn't even listen. And by the time I saw him the third time,
Mm-hmm.
there was a child number 5 and a possible number 6.
Wow, that's deep.
Now, once he had the 4 children, he told me if he didn't work double shifts all the time, his paycheck after child support and health care was $96 every other week.
Mm.
That's if he didn't work double time.
Yeah, it's just choices.
So I sat him down. I was like, look, you know, you are a great man. Because he was like, even with all that being said, he picked his kids up every day. He was in school on top of going to work. You know, like active father, basketball coach for his kids, all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hands down, you are a great father. Like, you taking accountability. You are doing it, you know? But I'm like, why don't you pick one of these women and call it a day? Like, it's obvious, because the women all, got along. They all took, come to the baby, all the kids' birthday parties, buy all the kids presidents. Like, he had a type of successful women. So it wasn't like he's dating low class women. And literally, he's just like, no, I'm not getting married anymore. Like, I did that. It was really disappointing. My wife didn't, it's like I got a wife, but I lost my best friend. And then, like, things that she wasn't open to doing. And I told him, I said, so you need to ask the Lord to take that pain from you. You need to ask him to heal you from that, because you're missing out on a great life with somebody else, because you're, so. And I'm like, I get it, because you can be narrow focused. I expected to be married one time as well and not get a divorce, So I totally sympathize with a person who's really devastated they got a divorce and they plan on being with somebody for the rest of their lives, But anyway, like I said, when I listen to him, and when the man tells me how he feels, and I have to respect that, because whatever I decide after that is on me.
There it is. See, you're so intelligent. My God.
So I literally listened to that, and I'm sorry to say it, but I disappeared off of him, because The next time I saw him, it was gonna go down. It was gonna be bad. I felt it in my soul. I said, I'm gonna mess around and be baby mama number 7.
You gonna be what?
Mess around and be baby mama number 7.
Mm.
Because the chemistry was so strong. Let me tell you something. We only kissed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was gone behind that man's kiss for years.
Wow.
That's how deep it was. I'm talking about it took years just behind the kiss.
Well, that's why he got all these babies.
I'm telling you, the man
He got the power.
He's serious, but this poor baby, I don't know. I'm praying for him because I hope he don't check out of here because of the stress, because that is a lot. That's a lot, but
yeah, it's just, again, with choices, and a lot of people don't think about what they're doing in their life. They just keep going, and they never stop and say, okay, I gotta think about this.
Definitely.
I gotta go deep.
Gotta heal. You got to heal.
And a lot of people just, it's just too tough for them. Because because it can be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
When you uncover some things about yourself. You're like, wow, I keep saying I'm this type of person, but I'm not.
Wow.
If I really cared, I wouldn't be doing the things I do.
Right.
Because I'm not just affecting my life, I'm affecting other people's lives.
Right.
But anyway, let me get off that doggone this. Stop preaching.
No, it's real.
So
it's real. That's why we have to pray for each other, because that's what it's about, covering each other in prayer and uplifting each other and filling in the voids, because we all have these weaknesses. And sometimes when you go through different things, you can disconnect from God because you feel like he didn't come through for you in the way that you needed or wanted.
That's just not an option for me, because I've always felt that presence. And, even when I was in places where, people would think I'd never be in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just, the people there would be like, why are you here?
Right.
And I'm just like, I come from the party favors as well.
Right.
But it's, it's really been a deep journey.
Definitely.
And right now, the world is changing so fast.
That's real. Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to see, because, a new world is emerging.
Absolutely.
And, whether you want to participate or not, everybody's being forced at this point. It's like the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time in history where the planet shut down.
Right.
So it's like God's trying to get your attention.
Oh, that's right.
We can't keep doing things the way we've been doing them.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I'm going to shut everything down. I'm going to shut down the churches, the synagogues, the mosques. I'm shutting it all down.
Right.
So regardless of what religion you are,
mm-hmm.
you have to have a relationship with God.
I know, that's right.
And it's in your heart. Mm-hmm. Where's the kingdom of heaven? Within you. Well, mm-hmm. There it is.
Right.
You don't have to go nowhere. It's right there.
Right.
But people don't want to go there.
Right.
We all know the right answer. We know what's good. We know what's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your heart.
Right.
If you don't like somebody because of the color of your skin, that's wrong.
Right.
It's in your heart.
Right.
So, but what I'm seeing right now,
mm-hmm.
people have already made their choice.
Right.
Some of them don't even realize it.
Right.
You refuse to do the work, and you think that it's going to be okay for you in this new world, but it's not.
Mm.
Because you're going to need a connection. This is just my opinion,
Mm.
and I may be wrong. But you have to have a real relationship with God
Mm-hmm.
to get through what's coming.
I know that's right. Yeah.
You got to know if God tells you, oh, Kelly, it's time to move.
I know that's right.
And a lot of people, it's like, a flood's coming, a fire's coming.
Right.
Maybe you need to go away for a month. Or maybe you need to move somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that connection, you're just going to be
out of
caught.
Here. Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be caught.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I am grateful I have met you because, you really have that spiritual awareness, which is something I like to be around.
Well, thank you, Alphonse, and I'm going to check on you tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I know it's late.
Good night.
Good night.
Speech on. Stop recording video.